Creating effective horror concept art is all about intention. Every design decision, from composition and lighting to creature silhouettes, need to be made with the viewer's emotional response in mind. The goal isn't just to make something that looks scary, but to build tension, atmosphere, and impact from the initial brief through to the finished piece. My name is Ellie Cooper, and I'm the creative director at Athena Productions, an outsourcing studio in the video games industry. And today we're stepping into the shadows. We're creating a creepy sci-fi corridor scene, complete with a spider-like monster that's finally revealed itself. It's tense, it's moody, and it's perfect for Halloween. As always, we start by gathering references. No matter how strong our visual library is as artists, we can't rely on memory alone. Details such as how spider legs bend or how webbing clings to surfaces are things we need to see and study. It's not something we may see every day. We look at sci-fi corridors, architecture, arachnid anatomy, horror films, and even practical effects from films for inspiration. The goal is to find that sweet spot between believable realism and spine-chilling fantasy. For the block out, we're working in Blender. We know early on that we want the corridor to feel more dynamic than just one flat floor. Otherwise, it can feel a bit boring and one-dimensional. So we introduce 2 levels. That helps us to create verticality and lets us stage the monster in unexpected and creepy ways. We also make sure to bring in human reference models to check our scale so that our corridor feels grounded and also our creature feels truly massive. And this stage is all about hard surface modeling. We're thinking about shapes, composition, and most importantly, how light affects everything. Horror lives in the contrast between shadow and light, so we're deliberately planning where things will vanish into the darkness and where slivers of illumination will give us glimpses of the nightmare. We use tools like hard ops and box cutter mixed with basic modeling to speed up the process and get the corridor blocked in pretty quickly. Once we have our block out, we move into what we like to call the hybrid stage, which is where we use 2D overpainting on top of the 3D renders we've made in Blender. In Photoshop, we start sketching directly over the render, adding in extra design details and atmosphere. We rough in doors, panels, wiring, and floor details. Bolts, vents, and other sci-fi elements get thrown in quickly. At this stage, it's all about speed, not perfection. We're throwing down ideas, testing variations, and creating multiple sketches to explore different directions. Sometimes one sketch works perfectly, but more often than not, the best final idea comes from combining multiple parts of several sketches. This is why creating a wide range of thumbnails is so valuable. It gives us a library of possibilities that we can pull from. With a chosen sketch locked down, we refine the 3D model. Hard ops and box cutter are still in heavy use, and we begin incorporating sci-fi trim sheets for detail. Where possible, we make custom trim sheets for projects. This keeps the work unique and makes collaboration between different artists a lot smoother. We add ceiling lights strategically to guide the viewer's eye. Leading lines also play a big role here. In horror, where you direct the viewer's gaze is crucial for building that tension. And now comes the star of the show. Modelled in ZBrush, this spider-like monster is rigged with a skeleton so that we can pose it dynamically. We test different camera angles and compositions, always searching for the most unsettling perspective. We also begin posing human characters. Some cower in terror, others flee, and one unfortunate soul is already ensnared by the creature. These narrative beats bring the environment to life. They're not just props, they're storytelling elements that adds to the overall image. And around the corridor, we start scattering the eggs, the nest of this monster. Eggs cling to the walls, the ceilings, the floors. Some are intact while others are cracked open, releasing skittering spiderlings that swarm across the environment. The idea of creatures crawling from above or dropping from broken eggs adds to that extra layer of horror. And material exploration is so important here too. Do the eggs look leathery in nature or slimy and freshly spun? We add web-like veins stretching across surfaces, tying the corridor to the monster's infestation. We also focus on the smaller interactions, such as the tiny spiders that are crawling onto victims, scuttling along their clothing, or leaping at some poor soul that is on the floor. It's these small details that really make viewers shiver. Once all the components are staged, we render out rough shots. From these, we pick the strongest composition, where the monster is looming over the survivors, half in shadow as if it has just descended from its web from the darkness above. One victim is already wrapped up in it and being lifted from the ground, while others recoil in horror and terror. This composition also gives us hierarchy. The monster is dominant as it's higher in the frame, while humans are powerless as they stare up at it, and it really amplifies the fear factor of this image. With the composition chosen, we refine everything in Photoshop, including the corridor, the monster's pose, the humans, the eggs, the webbing. We sculpt open eggs to show where the hatchlings have come from, and we carefully adjust materiality for that unsettling balance of slimy and organic. Character expressions get special treatment here. Shock, fear, resignation. We want every face to tell a story. And once the 3D is complete, we bring everything into Photoshop for the final pass. Our artist renders out a bunch of useful render passes and composites them together to enhance the base render. This is also where the atmosphere comes to life. We push the lighting, add fog, dust, dirt and slime to lean into that Halloween vibe. And that's our Halloween key art. A sci-fi corridor transformed into the layer of a terrifying spider-like monster. The most important thing to remember when creating images like this isn't just the technical tools, it's the emotions you want to evoke. Every lighting decision, every pose, every material detail should serve that emotional goal. We wanted viewers to feel dread, fear, suspense, as though they've stumbled upon something they weren't meant to see or survive. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this spooky journey. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment with what you'd like us to cover next. See you next time.